what it is. It's a movie that knows it's not supposed to be as serious as people are taking it. And I think once you actually realize that, it's a really fun time.
That's what's up here.
Yeah. All right, so now it's enough babbling from me. I'm going to kick it over to the homeboy over there, fiddling with knobs and buttons and dials, looking ever so focused. Just Johnny.
Yeah.
Who's got the lowdown on?
Immortal Planet.
I was going to say Immortan Joe. Where's he been hiding? But he did.
Yeah, he's dead. He's gone. Speaking of dying, there's a lot of dying in this game.
Oh.
I saw screenshots, man. I didn't get a chance to play it myself, but this looked like... Were you blowing up people?
You weren't blowing... So there's no people. At least I don't think there is. Everything is robots that you're attacking. Sort of like sentient robots.
Okay.
It's like knights, but they are robots. So it's like robot knights, but not Transformers.
Okay. So not Transformers, robot knights
Yeah.
of like some kind of order.
Yeah. They're on this planet. They're these...
When you say robot, yeah,
alien
clarify. You
robot
can say robot
things.
knights. You could mean like Baywatch knights. You know, these robot knights. All right.
It's all right. So you take Dark Souls, and you add sci-fi robots, and that's what this game is. And it's
oh, sorry, I'm going to correct you. By the way, it's not robots. That's not PC. It's Android Americans.
an Android American.
All right.
There are many Android Americans, and their lives matter because they keep dying. You keep dying because you're killing them. It's just a mess.
Crazy. When will we learn?
Yeah. Immortal Planet. So it's a Dark Souls-like game. It takes place in an isometric view, and that's really what separates it from a lot of other Me Too Dark Souls games. And I bring up Dark Souls a lot, but this game is really, really like Dark Souls. It is right down to the combat system where there is a stamina gauge that you have to manage, just like in other Souls-like games. You only can attack so many times. You can only block so many hits before your stamina gauge depletes. And once it depletes, you can't do anything. You're very vulnerable.
Wait, so does that mean your stamina does not be enough for Pamela Anderson Lee?
That's right. That's right. You will not be able to keep up. You need to pop more pills, more of that Viagra, and then you're back in the race. So, and I guess the unique thing about this one versus the other ones is that you can also see your enemy's stamina gauge. So as you are combating with other enemies one-on-one, mostly one-on-one, but there's a lot of you against 3, you against 4, sometimes even more than that. It gets really hectic, but you're really seeing their stamina gauge, their health bar, and you see your own, and you're sort of figuring out through their tells, through their animation, sort of they'll play out like a very quick animation, giving you an indication of what their next attack might be, and you have to sort of figure out what the proper counter to that is, and then go in for a few attacks. It's a very active, real-time action combat system that they have going on there, and they pull it off really, really well. It's like they took the best elements of Dark Souls, because there is a block button, there is a dodge button, and they also took the best elements of Bloodborne, where it had this regain system where you can, if you take damage, you had a certain window of time in order to deal damage back to the enemy in order to regain your health that you just lost.
All right. That also makes sense why it was released in Japan as Blood Souls.
Blood Souls.
Yeah.
This game?
Blood Souls.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Blood Souls.
What? I don't know what Blood Souls
: Darkborn. All right. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's the main crux of the combat system. You do have a couple of other things on the shoulder buttons that you're using in order to do certain special attacks with items or do special sort of magic use through the other set, which I didn't go that route, so I can't really say much about the magic use because I built my character very certain.
Come on, man. You didn't play your Dark Mage?
Nah, I went like full-blown tank on this thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I just wanted to tank everything, take the hits, regain the health, deal out more damage, regain the health, block a few hits,
all right.
dodge around.
Now, see, when I play these games, I like my chosen class is the decoy.
Decoy.
So, yeah, so I run out, I get the flail on my arms, I get the scream, various levels of scream.
You don't have party members, so you're just gonna keep decoying?
Well, yeah. I mean, come on. It's just the thrill of the chase, my friend.
Yeah, so you don't kill anything, but they all leave the room and chase after you. Then eventually you run back and you go in there and you open up all the chests and see all the loot.
Exactly.
There
Sounds
you
like
go.
one of those. I press the down button and just keep sweeping until I get the win. That's what that looks like. That's what that sounds like to me.
Hey man, you can hate all you want. Guile got that two. That guy got that 2 kick. You know, Bison got the slide. No, I'm untouchable.
Just keep sliding till you lose.
Yeah, no, the real hardcore one plays Balrog or M Bison, depending on where you're from. And you just like lean down and just keep like punching the ground. Like that makes sense.
But somehow you lost.
Very, 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 very poorly designed game.
This went sideways real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah.
The Immortal Planet. Yeah, go ahead, man.
So the crux of this game is you are this. They don't really explain it too well, but you are this awakened walker,
Okay.
and you just wake up and you go out and just start killing a bunch of things. And the things that you eventually find out are the things that you're killing are called immortals. They're aliens that have invaded this planet. I don't know. I'm probably getting some of it wrong because they do not. There is no real story. It's told just like through the Souls-like games through item descriptions, and you have to sort of read into the lore. And in some places here and there, you'll get a little bit of story excerpts, little tiny. They feed you like little nuggets of information relating to the story here and there.
Okay, so it sounds more like an action game.
It is very much an action game. This is, if you were to take like a traditional beat 'em up game, put it in a very heavy Diablo-style camera angle, a very isometric camera angle, and then give it the Souls-like combat system, that's essentially where you're going, what you're working with. There isn't really anything else to do in this game other than combat. There isn't much in the way of exploration. The exploration that you're doing is just getting to the next room to fight more enemies. And there are some places here and there to pick up items that'll help you heal yourself in the midway through.
So the target audience is people with like heavy teenage angst going on.
Heavy
Like,
teenage
man, I just need to
angst.
break something. I just need to destroy something beautiful.
It's just, yeah, if you want to whack things and just keep on whacking things and
All right,
then
let's
die a whole
not talk
lot.
about whacking when I
Yeah.
just referenced like
Teenage angst and whacking.
Yeah, that's
Hey.
okay.
It seemed like a good fit.
It's that kind of show,
worked.
people.
It worked.
That's where we are now. Herb,
Yeah.
I blame you.
So it's pretty much a game that's centered on combat, and that's just about it for all it has going for it. But thankfully, it does the combat part of it really, really well. It is a very tightly intricate and elaborate and very nuanced combat system, and it works really well. Even though the camera angle, it's not the best of camera angles, but this is a 2D game, so it's working probably as best as it could given its angle and given what they were trying to mimic, which was a 3D, the big giant Souls-like games, which are very elaborate 3D games with lock-on systems and whatnot. And this game pretty much pulls that off pretty well. There is even right down to the difficulty of it, right? So you're going through, you're dying a lot, you're learning the enemy patterns and how they attack and the best way to defeat them without taking any hits or minimal amount of hits. And every time you die, it has that same mechanic in the Souls games where you drop your essence, if you will, your
Ugh, that
light
sounds
beacon,
nasty.
which is all of your experience. So
Okay.
whenever you die, you drop all of your experience, and then you have one shot to go back and get it. And if you don't get it,
You probably need a nap so you can, replenish those
Yeah.
juices.
you lose all of your experience.
All right.
So
So
it has that going for it. And every time you go
lose your
to
wad and then you
Yep.
need a nap
yes,
so you can like.
I thought we were leaving the teenage.
I know. I'm sorry. I
Going back to it?
had
Keep
to do
going.
it. I've
Keep
got
going.
problems. Don't listen to me. I shouldn't even be on the radio. I don't know why I'm here.
And yeah, so you'll lose your experience, and if you ever cash in your experience, which will stay permanent, the enemies will respawn. So these are all things that people that play these types of games they're very familiar with, and they've more or less played this in many different variations. There's a lot of games that do it in a side scroll perspective. Now, this is the first one that has fully released that has done it in an isometric perspective. So that adds its own uniqueness to it. And the combat system, as I said, is really good, is really intricate. The problems with this game is that it doesn't change up the formula too much, other than with the enemy types, and that's pretty much it. Like the environments themselves that you're going through, they're pretty small. They're not super elaborate. They're a little confusing to navigate through just because the variation on the rooms that you're going into, they don't look different. They all have the same tile set going in there. They all have the same sort of colorization of the walls and the flooring and things like that, and sort of the mechanics of how you're going to navigate through, which isn't intricate. You know, you step on a few things, it'll activate a few things, you hit a few buttons on a few terminals.
The back goes,
yeah.
Yeah,
you step on a crack, yep.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like you didn't hate this sucker, even though it has its issues.
I did not hate this. I actually enjoyed the combat, but there are a lot of issues with it. Most of it is with the game not being taken as far as it could have, and that this is certainly a great starting point for them to take what they have in there for these levels and really elaborate on it and make a more interesting world. It's really the world and the environment that lets this game down so much, but the combat is solid. And that's really the main problem with this game. There's boss battles. All the boss battles are pretty elaborate, pretty interesting. They have different types of move sets they have to really analyze, and you're going to die a whole lot in each of them. But once you fully understand, then it requires you to execute on that, and more or less you're going to execute on it, and you're going to do really well. And it rewards you for playing with what's there. It rewards you for developing the skill set, and then once you have that skill set, then you start blowing through the enemies. So it has that same feedback loop of that the Souls-like games. It's in there, so that magic is in there. It's just it's missing everything else, which is the discovery, the wonder, the lore. All of those, the vistas, all of those things are completely void in this game.
I would just be happy, at the very least, if it's missing all those, I could walk around and statistically blow up and destroy everybody and everything. Can I do that?
No, because
why?
It's because of the style of the game. You just can't, even though you got the mechanics down pat. You can't just walk into a room with like 5 or 6 enemies and expect to just blow them all away. If you do something like that, you aggro the whole room, then yeah, you're gonna get your butt handed to you.
Hey man, when I walk into like 5 or 6 enemies, you don't know how many of them I'm gonna blow. So. Okay, all right, back to serious business. All right, so at the end of the day, would you recommend this sucker, this bad boy, this biznatch?
That's a tough question. I would recommend it to Souls fans if they want to check out something, if they want to scratch that itch. I definitely recommend it to them. For anyone else, it's worth checking out unless you do not want a difficult or hard game. If you're the kind of person that can't deal with...
If you want a challenging game, you may want to play this. Or if you want a challenging game, you may not want to play this. But if you're the type of person that likes this kind of game, you may want to check this out. But then again, if you really like this kind of game, you may not want to check... You're killing me here. What's going on?
I'm just saying. And maybe too... It's definitely too hard for a lot of people to swallow and to deal with, right? A lot of people just want to have a game that you are this badass and you're just slaying things left and right. This is not that game. You have to be patient with it.
It's not the Pat Simulator.
It's not the Pat Simulator.
All right.
No.
Okay, so thumbs up, thumbs down?
Thumbs to the side?
No, not to the side. Come on, man.
Give it the side thumb.
I will give it a thumbs up if they were to fix or improve the sort of world design, the world lore, and those negatives that I sort of covered. Otherwise, I have to say, like, medium.
Hey, Johnny, I'm not flat out.
It's definitely not a thumbs down, though.
Okay.
I'm asking flat out.
Yep.
I am 15-year-old me going to Blockbuster with my $5 to pay $4.95 to rent this game for the weekend. It is the weekend, and I know on Monday morning I got a test that I really don't even care about, but I'm willing to blow my money on and spend the whole night playing this game, this whole weekend. And I'm stuck with this game.
You're stuck with it.
Should I spend my $5 on this game? I'll be stuck with from Friday to Sunday night, knowing damn well I'm probably going to flip my test the next morning. Is this the game I can say, you know what? It was worth that F.
For $5, yeah. Yeah, you'll definitely be entertained. I mean, you're definitely going to be entertained unless you're the person that gets frustrated. But yeah.
Okay, think about the generation we came up with. Also, want to thank you, brother, for showing our audience exactly how old we all really
it's
are.
all good, man. I gotta let them know.
I watched the video with cats, with young folks, millennials checking out the Backstreet Boys, like, oh my God, my mom listens to this. And it was her, and it hurt. Okay, so Johnny gives it a tentative thumbs up.
Yes, tentative. There we go. I like that.
right.
Tentative thumbs up.
All right, thank you very much. That lukewarm reception review. All right, now I'm going to kick it over to the man here, JM the Thriller Priest.
It's like warm beer.